Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, November 26, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice here, price pushed through the previous highs here, new all-time highs above 31.40 into 31.45, and is now pulling back just a bit back below the previous highs here, or right around those levels. That's going to be very important there. Obviously, on the recent pullback here, we've gotten a push to new highs, as was the expectation. But if there's going to be a rejection of this high here very quickly, then that tends to open up a return back to recent lows, as this thing perhaps either builds a trading range or perhaps looks to fail. Either way, if there's a rejection of that recent high up there, then the tendency at times is to swing back and retest the recent pivot low. That could take us back toward 30.90. Maybe lower if that level's crossed. So again, this is going to be something really important to watch here. The previous high, again, 32.50, so it's 31.3250. Right now we're trading 31.34, just a hair above that zone. So again, we've got to continue to watch that level. If price can't hold 31.30, that could open up a little bit of weakness. Again, we are in a holiday shortened week where the market tends to drift higher overall. So again, nothing says it has to go down here. This thing has been very bullish. If it were to reject this level, that would open up a pullback. But again, right now holding above it. And as this market has been continuing higher here, again, you've got to continue to defend pullbacks until proven otherwise. If we take a look here at the NQ, very similar price action. Again, this market's been very strong. Lots of good pullbacks into the Pima trigger zone, exactly where you want them to be. The recent one put you to a new high, and again, here we are again. Perhaps a little bit of rejection happened at the 8400 even, and it doesn't mean that rejection has to do this, but that rejection could cool things off for a moment and bring things back into the range, maybe back to 8300, maybe back down a little bit lower toward 8200. Again, this market right now very bullish, but all pullbacks still buying opportunity. So even if this thing pulls back, it could still be a buy here. But got to keep an eye on that recent pivot high up there, because again, if there's a failure to really stay above that 83.80 zone, that could open up a pullback much lower. So right now sitting right on top of that 83.80 early in the day here. Alright, let's take a look now at crude oil. You'll see with crude oil, again, this one right now has been trending up in this channel. Recently we had a big squeeze here, now a couple of 3 days here where it's gone sideways. Again, overall this market continues to kind of trend up a little bit, but it's had trouble staying above 58s here lately. That's been a level where it hasn't really been able to get above. So if it starts to push through 58.50, 59 and really hold, again, it opens up a little bit more upside towards 61, 62. Right now, narrow range at these highs. A failure to hold 57 could rotate this thing back down. So right now, everything's still kind of trending up here unless there's a failure to hold 57s. For gold futures here, this one has, again, failed to hold 1465 here. This was a good rejection. It was a good higher low, and everything was holding for a push higher, but it failed on that day. High retest on that day and down and continuation, and now here we are again. So this market right now has not really found its footing down here on support. It has been extremely bullish overall, but we've had, kind of a downtrend here, maybe a little bit of a rounded off behavior. We've come into the LVN, which was significant and couldn't get any lift. So again, as long as price remains below 1480 here, there is the potential for this thing to kind of drift a little bit lower. 1440s down there below. That's the July 31st FOMC key level. You have your 1420 is your 200-day average. So somewhere between 1420 and 1440 could be an opportunity here to bounce this thing. If it can't hold that zone, you got your 1375, 1380 LVN down below. That's your next major zone. So again, kind of an iffy area right here. If it can push through 1480, it opens up some more upside, but it just hasn't been able to get that lift that we were looking for. So below 1480 suggests a little bit more weakness until that level can be reclaimed. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.